FlySky FS-GT3C, RadioLink RC4GS, RadioLink RC6GS. For whom these transmitters are, or maybe for whom they are not, we're gonna find out in this little review. Hello everybody, my name is Armin for Armin RC, and here we have three in the RC community very popular transmitters. Their popularity is easily explained. They deliver a lot of performance, have a lot of functions at a very reasonable price. One thing in advance, every transmitter, every receiver you will see in this video I have bought from my own money. This video is not sponsored by any means, which is a shame by the way, but all you hear in this video is my unbiased, honest opinion about these systems. With all this out of the way, I would say let's hop into our first topic, specs and prices. Specs and prices. Don't worry, I'm not going to cite all the technical data of the systems. If you're interested in them, please check out the websites of the manufacturers. They are available there. I just want to give you a brief overview of what we have here. The FlySky FS-GT3C is a 3-channel system which comes with a 3-channel receiver, the GR3E. The combination is about 70 euros. The receiver alone is about 15 euros here in Germany. The system is available, for example, at Amazon. One word about the receivers, the FH-GS receivers from FlySky, which you will use with this transmitter. They are only rated up to 6.5 volts of supply voltage. So if you have your BEC configured for, let's say, 7.4 volts or even higher to give your servo a little more punch, a little more power, then you won't be able to use the system. Please keep that in mind. I have used the receiver with 7.4 volts. They seem to work fine, but they are officially only rated up to 6.5 volts. The RadioLink RC4GS is a 5-channel system which comes with a 6-channel receiver, the R6FG. G stands for gyro, means it has a gyro integrated. The combination is about 60 euros, the R6FG is about 20 euros here in Germany. There is a version of the R6FG without the G, the R6F without the gyro. This receiver alone is about 15 euros. The R6F and the R6FG are rated up to 15 volts of supply voltage. The RC6GS is a 7-channel system which comes with a R7FG receiver, G gyro integrated, and the system gives you telemetry. The combination is about 100 euros and the R6FG alone is about 25 euros here in Germany. The R6FG is rated up to 12 volts supply voltage and is rated IPX4 splash waterproof, whatever that means. Power supply for the systems, the FlySky uses a 800 mAh LiPo 1S 3.7 volts, which is charged directly through this micro USB port here on the transmitter. Very well done, FlySky. This is exactly how it should be done. No external charger needed for this system. The RadioLink systems use this tray, which takes 6 AA batteries. This tray is then connected via this standard JST connector to the transmitter. You may configure your own battery, for example a LiPo, put this JST connector on it and use it with your systems. The max dimensions for the battery are stated on the websites and I put it here in this video. The RadioLink systems are available at Team Undercover here in Germany. I ordered mine there and everything went quite well. No problems there. So I guess that's all for specs and prices. Let's head on to our next topic. Pros and cons. In this chapter I'm trying to find out which of these radios is right for you. Every single one of these transmitters has its own pros and cons. So let's start with the FlySky. The GT3C really feels good in the hand. This rubber insert here on the back really feels good. The weight is good, the weight distribution is good. The antenna is mounted on the side and is foldable, which gives it a little bit of protection. The display is large, backlit and easy to read. The trigger is on the position where it should be. The buttons are easily accessible. Everything okay. It has only 3 channels out of the box and none of the buttons is programmable. So if you need more flexibility, if you need more channels, then this system may not be for you. But you can use a custom firmware with this. With this new firmware, you get 80 channels and a fully programmable system. Every button except for the bind button is programmable, which makes this thing a real powerhouse. The firmware is free. All you need is a programmer, which is about 8 euros here in Germany. That's all you need for to flash the new firmware on the system. If you please let me know in the comments if you want to see a video about it, how to flash the system, what you need to flash the system, and how to program it afterwards for, let's say, four-wheel steering. I'm happy to make a video about it. So with the upgraded firmware, you have an 8-channel system, everything programmable, really, really good. But if you're someone like me who loves to film their cars and put the videos on YouTube, then you know you have to use the transmitter with one hand. And on this transmitter, the position of the steering wheel, in combination with the relatively large throw of the steering wheel, makes it almost impossible to use this thing one-handed. The steering wheel is way too far off of the center of the transmitter. I have quite large hands, and as you can see, it is almost impossible to use this thing with one hand. And this is really a shame. If FlySky had only once tested this with one-handed driving in mind, they would have seen that this holder, this wheel mount, is not a good solution. But either they don't care about it or they haven't tested it. I don't know. Yes, of course, you can use or can print your own wheel mount for this. But not everybody has a 3D printer. Not everybody is willing to model the parts which are necessary for it. Well, this is for me the one big drawback for the system, the position of the steering wheel, and of course the fact that the receivers only take up to 6.5 volts of supply voltage. If you can live with this and you are willing to put the custom firmware on this, then you get for 17 euros a really, really powerful system. Quite good. The RadioLink models, the RC4GS and the RC6GS, ergonomically they are identical, though no difference is here. They feel a little bit cheap, but the buttons are where they should be, the trigger is where it should be. The steering wheel, I take the RC4GS, the steering wheel is, it's okay, you can drive it with one hand, this works. The buttons are changeable in mode, which means per default they are momentary switches, which means you press and hold it, the function is on, you release it, the function is off. But you can set the mode in the menu, in the firmware for these buttons. You can say, click it, function is on, click it again, function is off again. That's cool. What's not so cool is the fact that none of these three position momentary switches is programmable. They are used only for trimming, trim channel 1, trim channel 2 and trim aux channel. So with this system you have a 5-channel system and you are not able to control a winch from the remote, from the transmitter here. The only way you could do this is to use this linear pot knob here. But this is not something you really would like to do. This linear pot is, for example, used to control the sensitivity of the gyro, but not to use it with your winch. For a winch, I would like to have a 3-position momentary switch, like this one here on the side. But RadioLink, in their infinite wisdom, decided to not let us program or use these switches. It would be an easy fix for RadioLink, a firmware update. At least give us this switch here, the aux channel trim. I can program it in the firmware if I want to use it as aux channel trim, but give us the flexibility to say, no, I do not want it to use it as a trim, I wanted to use it to control, for example, channel 4. But this is currently not possible. The RC6GS adds 2 channels to the RC4GS and adds these 2 hardware switches here on the top of the transmitter. Out of the box, these 2 switches are toggle switches. Position 1, center, position 2. Why RadioLink? Why? Why not momentary switches? I've exchanged one of them to be a momentary switch. This one here is now a momentary switch. But you have to do it by your own. So with this system, I can finally use it to control my winch. With this momentary switch, here, reposition momentary switch, I can use finally my winch. I've printed my own wheel with this thumb steer extension on the bottom. With this, I would say this is almost perfect for me. This radio I really like to use while filming my cars, and use this with one hand. That's cool. That's great. The RadioLink systems are really good. The price is good. I do not know what RadioLink or what the manufacturers think about how these things are used. RadioLink, why do you give us 2 3-position toggle switches? Give us 1 toggle, 1 momentary switch. It costs you nothing more, and we have a lot more flexibility. As you may see, I'm a little bit frustrated about this all, so let's head on to the final words. The final words. Well, you may have noticed that I sometimes get a little bit frustrated by the manufacturers or the manufacturers' products. Every single one of these transmitters here is a great radio. Every single one of these transmitters here has a flaw which may or may not be a deal breaker for you. The GT3C, for example, has receivers which only take up to 6.5 volt supply voltage and has the steering wheel in a position where it makes it almost impossible for me to drive it one-handed. And I very often use my radios with one hand. So it's a shame, because with the custom firmware on it, this thing is so cool. The RadioLink systems are 2 very good radios. The RC4GS, a 5-channel system. But if you buy this thing and have a crawler with a winch and suddenly notice that you can't control the winch with your radio, this might get a little bit frustrating. And this would be an easy fix for RadioLink. Give us a firmware update with which we can at least control one of these 3 buttons here, or better, all 3 of them. Then this thing would be fixed. Same for the RC6GS. Give us this firmware update for the trim switches, and or give us at least 1 momentary switch here, momentary hardware switch here. This would fix all the problems. The RadioLink RC6GS with a firmware which let us control these 3 switches and gives us at least 1 momentary switch here would be, for me, the almost perfect radio. I know there is the RC8X, but the RC8X is in a 300 euro class, which is 3 times the price of this one. Okay, that's all I have to say for now. Please don't let the manufacturers spoil your enjoyment of this beautiful hobby. Go out, go flying, go crawling, go racing, go bashing, whatever you want to do. This is such a beautiful hobby. And don't let the manufacturers spoil your enjoyment of it. Please let me know what you think about this format. This is my first reviewish video. Let me know what you think of it, what's good, what's bad. I will answer all your comments. What else to say? Please consider subscribing to the channel. This would be the greatest support you can give me, and it would be highly appreciated. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Servus.